Federal government releases 50 billion naira to varsity unions. All the details on the Daily Times newspaper. And we're back to the table. Chris Maduka joins us for an interesting discourse as it relates to the development across the papers. Good to have you, Chris. Good morning.
Good morning, Charles.
Right. So, straight to the point. I don't know which one is tearing your
heart.
Nothing
is tearing my heart, Charles. Nothing in this country can never tear my heart. We are on this seat for the last 1 year talking about the derail. So I'm just asking you, when are you defecting? What are you still doing here?
I just have to consult
who?
My constituency to know whether they would support me
Charles,
in this defection.
The way you have to defect in Nigeria, defect with the whole structure. You don't need to consult them. Once you move, in Igbo land, my father told me, when the snail moves, it moves with his shell. So you can't move and leave your structure behind. Just move. Your structure will look for you wherever you are and join you. That's why, under that load I'm starting. Nothing in this country gives me any sleepless night again. Nothing. No. You can see the country in a very clear path of self-destruction. Nothing.
I'm actually surprised with Delta State because Delta State.
You are surprised at what happens in this country?
No,
no. Have you been around? Are you just?
Yeah, but the Delta State is still a shock to me because Delta State, for the life of me, like what is attracting you? If a government is doing well, you have put the government on a scale and say, well, I want to identify with this government because they're doing well, based on the indices. At least the people would say this government is doing well, but that is not happening. According to what we know, talking about the economy, talking about infrastructure, this government has scored way below average, at least with what we have seen. So you would wonder why is the government defecting to the APC?
What I'm talking about is the stupidity that the world will be looking at us. I remember Peter Obi wanted to join PDP. And he was governor, voted under Apuga. He waited patiently, finished his tenure, dropped every pin, absorbed himself of any contraptions, and then moved into another party of his choice, personally. A state that has run and developed under PDP for as long as I know, since the history of Delta State, almost half of the history of Delta State, was developed under PDP. You now ask me, a governor that traversed Delta State campaign with a former vice president running mate as former governor and the senator of many tenure under PDP in Delta State, all in the twinkle of an eye jumped the ship. And you say Nigeria, they will have conscience, that they have politics. I don't know the kind of politics we play. I'm confused. This can make you anyway. The other day I think today we'll be having. I check through the rundown, and I find that the mental health nurse will be coming to talk to us. Because I was in a university and I used to have a lecturer, may God bless his soul, Professor Oborevwori. He said we are all mad, all in different degrees anyway. He only tried to be soft. But in Nigeria, I'm sorry to say, I don't know the degrees. It's like the degrees run at par. Everybody is at the same level of madness. And that's why nobody stops to ask questions. And the few that stop to ask questions are a minority. So the majority are floating on that part of madness, hoping. So what do you tell people? After you have build the other state under PDP. Now, if they have conscience, and if there are gods of the land, and if there are things that are pure and holy, I think certain things offend them. But these days, that's why I'm telling you, people don't, there's nothing, nobody just talks about it. Look at how boldly And then even the name of the governor is difficult for me to pronounce. So if you tell me the governor, I cannot. And then they move with others. So there's nothing wrong with moving. I'm talking about the nature of moving. It is the pattern of movement. Because really, if you know, when you feel, you drop. Nigeria is a mess because this is a deception. Tomorrow people come out and say you're campaigning under political parties. You want me to vote? What are they telling Nigerians? You just voting for nothing. All those lies. It's just to convince you to go and drop vote. That's actually if those votes come. Because we're in this country where BVAs, they know what are beavers, what they call it, did not work. Not when heaven has not fallen. And people who, under that traption, find themselves in position of authority, assessed and assumed all that we are supposed to be. They are honorable senators, honorable federal house of, representative, executive, governors, the way some people say. But my teacher said, that's the wrongest thing to say, if there's anything like that, to say somebody is executive governor in a democratic government. But we have them being addressed as executive governors. That's why they're executively moving, jumping ship, executively, with all the executives who are going to execute trash in the next level of political dispensation and come back to the same place to tell people how are these people going. That means they have sold their conscience and they sear it with fire and brimstone. They don't care. We don't matter. We do not I'm saying constitutionally, the Nigerian citizens do not matter anymore. No. When I ask you when are you going to defend, you say because I think I just started seeing different charts. You still have some element of conscience. Because some other Nigerian politicians will not, you say, let me think about it. Because he doesn't have anybody he's going to consult. He's the moving stomach infrastructure. That is mobile at every time. That is playing the usual, those days we were growing up. There are these people from the northern part of Nigeria that come with live hyenas in chains. And they will go with very sharp knife and they will be playing drum. And they will doing, if you give money, I'll kill myself. And they're drawing the knife across their stomachs and in the form of, play. And nothing is happening. Nigerian politicians are in a set of people and they are playing it out, deceiving us. And it's playing out. In 2017, it's building up. It is building up. Let me tell you, nothing. I don't see any iota of hope. In what we are doing, we are just playing along.
Right.
We're just playing along.
But I'm just thinking whether you feel that the former governor has some influence. Because again, a few weeks ago, he was invited by the AFCC to come and answer to, some trillions of naira that got missing right under his nose as governor. And so do you think that he may have seen that maybe joining the APC would give him some cover? And so he says, okay, President, I'm going to promise you to get governor to join the APC. And if you would assure me that I will get cover if I defect to the APC.
We're not justifying. These are politics they're playing. You find a way of playing it and at least give some element of saneness in the politics we play in Nigeria. You don't just drop gun as sitting governor of a state who got there on a platform few months. The next thing you go, you are thinking about next tenor or where you go, and you move with that mandate. When you are going there, you didn't get there with the mandate you are jumping to. When we are there, meaning that the people never wanted that mandate, they gave you a different mandate. You disappointed the people and moving with their mandate. So why didn't you move alone? And you boldly telling that means I pity the people of Delta State and the people of Nigeria because the same thing going to play out. Just watch out the next 3 weeks. We sat on this seat.
Do you see more governors?
Many. Don't even be sure that you I'm talking to will not the way I see, Charles, don't be sure. I don't even trust me that he's shouting. Because in Nigeria, you defect without knowing. In fact, we have all defected. So in here is just this one that is loud. People have quietly defected to hunger hardship. People are defected to hardship and killings, and we have all given up. These ones are just just playing up. Nigerians have defected long time. No single Nigerian is at home. No, because if you go to the house, you don't see them who are there. They've gone. They've gone defecting. And that is, it's so sad. And now looking at it, the conscienceless politicians in a conscienceless nation, dealing with conscienceless citizens that do not even care again, because even Nigerian citizens, these are the people they call for rally tomorrow, they will buy them. Nigerians are buy them and call them, and they still go there and start shouting names. I don't know what they're going to shout, because they are going to address the people, and they're going to see in a shameless move of the. Why don't you resign, Defect? If you think you are so powerful, deception of the highest order, and it's happening here where you say you have law. We're shouting about it. House of Assembly people, Defect under their parties, nobody talks about it. They keep quiet. Probably because they are defecting to the ruling government. That is, join that particular party and your sins are forgiven. Somebody told us to our birth, and that's what they're doing. So, Charles, join the flies to eat shit. I'm not apologizing to anybody at this time. Then, because they cannot be wrong. That's what they are doing. It's not me that said it. So, let everybody join.
Will you be surprised if the Enugu State Governor joins it?
I cannot be surprised at whatever any politician in Nigeria does in the next moment. From this, I've said it several times. I've lost confidence in Nigerian politicians.
He's not a typical politician.
I don't know what he is, but you're a politician, you're a politician. And politicians politic. Whatever brand you are, whether you are soft or hard or businessman converted, that bug of Nigerian politics beat you, you will forget your name. And you won't even know when you defect. So don't go to bank with anybody on this. Because I said, if you look at, you'll from where the eggs are laid and they are there, the chicken laid the eggs. From the egg, you can predict which chicken is going to be a cockerel, the one that will going to be a fowl. From the body languages of the people around and all, and you are asking me so that they will hear from my mouth say that that the father wear trousers under his kaftan. I'm not a political advisor to any governor, and I don't aspire to be, because I am a loud-mouthed prophet. I don't do juju for criminals. I'm on DBO. That's me. So let everybody go ahead. But one day, the day of reckoning will come. Everybody then will be hereafter. I believe there's a way this nature makes you to account. They are now being conscienceless, going about doing anything they want with people's mandate. And because they keep that it's that people's mandate that will haunt them for life. If you do it alone, who cares who gives the hoot where Chris Maduka, what political party I join? No, but as I'm taught, I get home, I decide whether I want to consult my family or do it alone, and it's a free. But with this kind of movement we are seeing, that's deception at the highest level of their politicking, and we accept it. What are we going to tell the people? You just go deceive people, vote for you under this party, then the next moment you jump, and everybody keep quiet because you have power to suppress them.
Right.
It's not too good.
Let's talk about this meeting between the president and the security chiefs.
The meeting with the president and the security chiefs, we talked about it yesterday. We gave them an agenda. That's what we feel they should be discussing. And today, the whole newspapers are coming out saying, President, gave the order to flush out. And the next thing that came to my mind, I thought it was a closed-door meeting. How did they get to know what the president gave? Anyway, the papers need to have headlines. And of course, from agenda we gave them yesterday, talking about killing, stop the killing, stop the killing, stop. So if you have agenda A, stop the killing. B, stop killing. C, stop killing until you go to A or B. Any other business, say, conclusion, Mr. President, stop killing. And I think, and with that trust we have, no matter how small it still remains, we have with the government. We are expecting that what he told them is flush out, stop this, stop this. Yesterday we were saying, does this look like hand of Israel and the voice of Jacob? And I said, I don't know, anything is possible in Nigeria, I keep saying. But whatever it is, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Ahmed Tinubu, should use that same sensibility, that same position, that same state of mind that makes him to accept to be Nigerian president, to boldly look at this. Even if that's the only thing, after all, he's not scoring zero in everything. There are some areas where you will see some pass mark, and then the only thing is that it might be staggered. Before you get to where pass mark is, you might have different bads before you know. So, but he's not totally a failure. But we said, add up this one, score, at least get up to 70% on this, because we are not even worried. It's not just about where people defected to or what they are doing. We are now worried that as people continue to defect, the people following them are being killed and killed and killed. Before they look back, they won't see anybody. They find themselves defecting alone into wherever they want to. The next time they defected with so many people. Those are the few who go with convoy. Before you look back, those who might be wanting to shout and call names of politicians, they won't see them again because they would have gone on with what is happening. So he should, if not anything, even if our votes do not count, you still need people to come when you are visiting any place. You still some children who will come out and be waving all those fake flags. Otherwise, you will be moving from Aso to your house alone. You won't see anybody in the street. And it become easier for you then, because people like us won't be here shouting and wasting our. Then you have a very peaceful country, because everybody would have died. But as far as you have us here, you cannot beat a child and say you shouldn't cry. You think what he say benakwa? That's the only thing. It's paining us. But we have had the song as it depend them, it sweet us. So if it sweet una, it depend us. Make una do something. That's all I'm crying for. At least make it sweet us small. As it sweet una is. How many years we did the last election? It is sweet una. The pen us is then. Make una at least give us one iota of something. God will sweet us. Should he continue to pen us like this and you guys are dancing away? It is sweet us. It depend them. The pen is getting high. And let me say, if you find yourself in the midst of people who are in pain, over time become infectious, no matter how sweet, under what sweet condition you are living. That's why they say, if you are a rich man in an environment, if you are training your children in Harvard, make sure your neighbors, even if they have to go to public school in Ababa, because it's your time to double on. You train your children, they go to Harvard, they can't come back home, because those ones who are around, they wouldn't even go to Ababa public school, become a threat to their life.
Absolutely. Chris, we have to leave it there, but because of time, just to wrap up with this, INEC moves to legalize voting without PVC.
INEC is Nigeria's highest body, that they call them political referee, what they call it, that's the other name. Umpire. Beautiful name. Beautiful name. We have a lot of criminals in Nigeria who answer Solomon, who answer Peter. You catch them, they are Christians. They answer beautiful saint names. So beautiful name, umpire for INEC. I'm not saying anything. This is not the last they will do. INEC will still take a lot of policies. Let them legalize it, because it's now easier. If you are talking about coming to, accreditation, go pass through voters list and then open the borders, walk in, vote and go. And that one, nobody will ask you, Charles, what's your name? Are you from Enugu or Anambra? Are you from Zamfara? Or are you from Niger Republic or from Chad? Nobody will ask you that. Once you make it that easy, that means you won't be questioning anything. Walk in there, there's no accreditation with this. Now, if you legalize, what you will be accredited? You just walk in there and say, I'm a Nigerian. It will give you voters, you go and vote. I don't understand it. So it's too early. Let's watch. Legalizing what? So if you want to legalize illegality, this is not the first time it's happened in Nigeria. There are so many things that we need to legalize that we are not legalizing. And if it's voting without voter's card, it makes it easier for, because also when the environment is that confusion, then the tricky people and the criminals will have their day. So good luck to Nigerians. In every move to legalize, anything you want to legalize, let's go ahead.
Many thanks, Chris Maduka, for your insight. Truly appreciate it. It means always an insightful discussions every single weekday morning with you.
Save Nature TV. News in your pocket.